Hi, my name is Michelle, and this is my introductory video of my blog on my journey of speaking Spanish fluently, understanding it fluently, and being able to immerse myself in conversations in Spanish. It's something that has been a goal of mine for a very long time, but the first thing that I want to do is give some background as to like my prior education in Spanish as well, so that you know where I'm starting, and it's also a remembrance to me as I continue to progress on where I started as well. So I did take 4 years of Spanish in high school, and I was in high school from 1996 to 2000. So just to give some preface there, that was almost like 22 years ago. So during that time, I learned the basics of Spanish, and through that I have kept some of those things that I've learned, like the alphabet. Definitely, most importantly, I do remember how to say the alphabet. And then as I progress along my journey, just by work or in social settings, I have picked up words or phrases here and there, but it was never anything that allowed me to get into conversation. It was almost like phrases like, what are you doing? And ¿qué estás haciendo? So I learned how to say simple things like that. And as I continued to progress, and then of course things like Duolingo came along, and I just want to use my notes here. So Duolingo came along, and probably I started using it in 2017. And at that time, I completed an entire tree of Duolingo in Spanish. And what I was doing for every lesson that I did is I had my notebook out, and whatever I didn't understand, whether if it was conjugations or grammar, I was writing it down, and I was looking it up as to, why was it said like this, or why am I using this tense in this particular sentence, or why is this word being used here and there. And of course, when we talk about grammar and things like that, like when I learned English, like I never learned like this is present perfect, any of those things. That's not how I learned English. It's because, for me, it's from what I can remember, is I just started learning and speaking it. So it was very difficult to try to understand these concepts, because that's not how I learned a language. And with that being said, I utilized that, did the tree, and I even wrote out sentences that I did not know, or maybe even sentences that I feel like would be helpful for me at that time as I was progressing. And with that being said, like I've been doing Duolingo, like I mentioned, since 2017, and I completed the tree, and then after that, it's just been off and on. But as of late, last year, I decided that I wanted to commit to Duolingo, one lesson a day, because for me, it was just building some sort of consistency in going towards my goal of learning Spanish, speaking Spanish, acquiring the language of Spanish, and being able to have conversation as well. So also because my family, my dad's side, they are from Panama, and their first language is Spanish. So for me, it's always been something that I want to learn. And then of course, just being around like other people who speak Spanish, like I want to be in the conversations. And also through my nonprofit, I want to go back into other countries, in Panama and other countries, and help the youth, because I work with youth, and I want to be able to share the love elsewhere as well and communicate to them without needing a translator. And so currently I'm on a 400-day streak in Duolingo. And with that being said, I know there's some, people have different reviews on Duolingo, but for me, Duolingo has been helpful. And just because of that streak and seeing your streak go up, and you can have a streak that you can maintain, and it's something visual. For me, I'm a visual learner, and that having something visual is very helpful for me in terms of like continue to stay motivated. So I know like, oh man, I'm on a 100-day streak, and it's like I want to keep that streak going. And also it's the repetition that comes within all these lessons that I am learning something, even if it's just short sentences here and there, and it's maybe not necessarily helping me be in conversation, but it's something that I'm picking up that allows me to pick up vocabulary, especially, and grammar as well. And let's see, okay, and so in 2019, I started using the app Speaky. And so Speaky is a language exchange app where you can utilize this with people all over the world. So basically, if there's someone whose native language is Spanish and they want to learn English, we will connect with each other because they want to learn English. So I'm the native in speaking English, and I want to learn Spanish. So the exchange happens there, where we get to connect via the app and have conversation. Now, one thing I will say with the app that's very helpful is that there's going to be a lot of people on the app. Some of the people on the app, maybe they're not real, or there's people like scams and all this other stuff. But for me, the most important thing is being able to like connect with people from different parts of the world and having those conversations. And the good thing is that the conversations usually start out with your frequently asked questions, like what's your name, where are you from, how old are you, and what do you do? So to me, those questions are very important because I learned how to answer in Spanish which each of those things. So it's just a repetition, because for me, my experience, I've met a lot of people through Speaky, and so it's usually the same questions that are happening over and over again, which is very helpful, because once again, it's the repetition is practice, and that's how the practice is in order how to get it instilled within myself for it just to flow out off the top of my tongue. And so I find Speaky very helpful, and there's been a few people that I've connected with Speaky on the app, and then we've gone over to WhatsApp, because sometimes the app can be in and out with just like service or not getting the notifications that they sent you a message. And so with having WhatsApp, for me, that's also been helpful to stay in contact with people that I've had, longer conversations with, or we've gotten to know each other on a deeper level. And I have a friend in Mexico who he sends me like a Christmas card via WhatsApp. So it's very cool. And it's not, now we don't even talk that much. We don't talk at all, but it's just that remembrance, and we know who each other are. So that's very helpful. And let's see. So I wanted to share just my background and my experience there. And as I continue starting like my first week of trying something different, I'm going to be immersing myself more within listening to the language, because obviously there's different, like in different countries, people speak Spanish with different accents. So also being able to hear things, because sometimes I pick out keywords, but I'm not hearing the full sentence. So I want to be able to hear the full sentence, and also learn how to respond quickly, fluidly, and correctly as well. So welcome to my journey. Treasure yourself and shine.